Let's talk about a New Jersey judge claiming that computer code is not free speech. What's up, Wolverines? Welcome back to the channel. My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and this is John Crump News, where we discuss 2A every day. I need you to do me a big favor, and you already know what I'm going to say. Please go ahead and sub to the channel. It really helps with engagement. Engagement is key to the algorithm, which helps get my voice out there, and you can help propagate the signal. Before we get into today's story, let's go ahead and thank our sponsor. Gideon Optics makes some of the best optics at an affordable price. So why spend money on an optic where you can get a cheaper optic that is just as good? Go ahead and check out Gideon Optics, and for a limited time, you can use code CRUMPY and get 10% off and free shipping on all orders. Today we're going to be talking about a case out of New Jersey, and that is Defense Distributed versus Platkin. But before we get into that case, we need to do a little bit of homework on exactly what happened. In 2018, New Jersey hit Defense Distributed with a cease and desist letter claiming that the company was breaking New Jersey public nuisance and negligence laws for distributing computer code that allowed anyone to print a .380 firearm. Defense Distributed would object on First Amendment grounds, but agreed not to provide files to people in New Jersey until it could decide what to do. They definitely thought that New Jersey was trying to infringe on their First Amendment right. At the same time, New Jersey reached out to a company called DreamHost, which was one of Defense Distributed's internet security providers, and claimed that Defense Distributed was breaking DreamHost acceptable use policies because it was breaking New Jersey law. Not only did they reach out to DreamHost, but they also reached out to Cloudflare with the same exact claim. Later on in 2018, New Jersey would pass a law banning the sharing of 3D files that may let people print firearms. May is a very key issue here, and that is going to come up later on in the case. In the signing ceremony of the new law, Governor Phil Murphy actually said that he was trying to stop Defense Distributed, Cody Wilson, who he named by name, and Cody Wilson's followers. Not only that, he was trying to prevent the next Cody Wilson and was going to go after any company that shares 3D printed files. After the governor signed the law, Defense Distributed would team up with the Second Amendment Foundation and sue New Jersey over what it claimed was an unconstitutional law. The biggest claim was that New Jersey was violating the free speech of Defense Distributed and 3D designers everywhere. This isn't the first time Defense Distributed has taken on different entities over code. Defense Distributed also sued the State Department when the State Department claimed that Defense Distributed might be violating ITAR. In the end, the State Department backed down and entered into agreement with Defense Distributed and dropped their claims of ITAR violations. Now with the State Department out of the way, Defense Distributed would concentrate on New Jersey. Defense Distributed would bring 6 different actions against the Garden State with the help of the Second Amendment Foundation. The first one would state that code is free speech, so New Jersey cannot censor free speech. I'm not only saying that, and Defense Distributed is not only saying that. There's actually a case called Karn versus the U.S. Department of State that ruled that code is free speech. The Judge Michael Shipp, who is a Barack Obama appointee, rejected that. He reasoned that the code is functional and non-expressive because it requires little human intervention to get the code from a computer to a 3D printer, which I actually find ridiculous. He ruled that therefore code is not speech and therefore cannot be protected. So he threw that right out the window, which I think is absolutely ridiculous and flies in the face of case law. The second assertion by the plaintiffs is that New Jersey was violating the Second Amendment. The judge disagreed. He stated that firearms printed on a 3D printer are arms, but the code itself is not an arm and therefore not protected under the Second Amendment. So he went ahead and threw that right out the window. There is two 14th Amendment claims made by Defense Distributed. The first 14th Amendment claim is that of selective enforcement. Cody Wilson reasoned that New Jersey was targeting him and not other people. The judge disagreed with that because he believes that New Jersey will eventually target other people. This might be one that I actually agree with him on. There is another 14th Amendment claim, and that is violations of the Due Process Clause. And Defense Distributed said that there were violations of the Due Process Clause because the vagueness of the law, remember the whole May thing, also that the law is overbreadth and deprivation of property. The overbreadth claim was thrown out because that depended on code being protected speech, and since it wasn't, that gets thrown out the window by the judge. Now let's go ahead and talk about the deprivation of property. That deals with actually federal firearms licensing and licensing by the State Department, but the judge threw that out because the State Department settled the case. Now the final thing is vagueness, and this comes back to the May thing. The law says that code may be violating the law if it can be used to print firearms. And Defense Distributed and Second Amendment Foundation says a person of reasonable intelligence might have a hard time understanding what may means in that, because what makes code illegal? If it may be illegal, what exactly makes it illegal? The judge said that it was very, very clear, and a person of reasonable intelligence could determine that all code that can produce a firearm is illegal in New Jersey. He also said that there's no threat of selective enforcement and therefore it fails, so that was dismissed. Now, Defense Distributed claims that the state violated the Dormant Commerce Clause because it was interfering with interstate commerce by trying to impose New Jersey law on interstate commerce. The judge rejected that. The judge said that since New Jersey wasn't trying to prop up a domestic business and it did not burden other states' commerce, that the Defense Distributed claim that it was violating the Commerce Clause was thrown out the window. The final thing that Defense Distributed tried to argue was that the state was engaged in tortious interference. The judge went ahead and rejected this because he stated that the state is immune from being sued by private entities over tortious interference under the 11th Amendment. So he dismissed that. I talked to Cody Wilson at Defense Distributed, and he said that he expected this outcome because the judge is a partisan judge. If you look at Judge Shipp's record, I would tend to agree with Wilson here. He is definitely partisan, and he is a supporter of a bunch of far left causes. Now, what Defense Distributed is going to do is ask the Third Circuit to go ahead and honor the Fifth Circuit's request to consolidate cases in Texas. The Fifth Circuit wanted to consolidate a bunch of cases surrounding Defense Distributed in the Fifth Circuit. The judge in the case denied the Fifth Circuit's request. So SAF and Defense Distributed is going to ask the Third Circuit to honor that request. Now, if the Third Circuit does honor that request, that is going to be very, very good for Defense Distributed and very bad for the New Jersey law. If they don't and they hear it themselves, this is going to be a coin flip. So we'll have to see what exactly happens. And when I do find out what is going on, I would definitely keep you guys updated and in the know, because I believe that this judge is off the rails when he ruled that Computer code is not free speech because I absolutely 100% believe that code is speech. All right, guys, if you like what I do here, give me a big thumbs up and tune in tomorrow for some more stories. And until then, keep ever vigilant, keep ever free, stay in the fight. I am out of here, Wolverine's motherfucker.